Thank you, Chaviji. Thank you very much for your help. That's very nice. And then just to recap a little bit what we've seen last time, and also we thought it was a good idea also to recap a little bit about one and different, because it's the very starting point about the debates. So if you wish, we can do things like this. Okay, so debate, of course, always to keep the motivation, where the reasoning comes from. Yeah, the Buddha Shakyamuni himself, yeah, encouraged us to think, to reason, to use our reasoning, as His Holiness said also so many times, yeah, and used to say. And so Arya Manjushri is our boss as well, our good help. And yeah, His Holiness says that intelligence or wisdom, we could say knowledge, is even worse without compassion. Yeah, so it's always good to keep our motivation. Yeah? Why do we study? Why do we try to grow our intelligence or knowledge? Yeah? Okay, very good. So as you remember, we have the general chart, yeah, for the Sotrantika. It's you know that the broadest category is selfless, yeah, yeah, and you all know that selfless exists. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, yeah, we could say that the self exists as well. Yeah, if we say conventionally speaking, yeah, the self person and I, you know, the I, they are equivalent, generally speaking. Yeah, yeah. If we speak about the conventional self, yeah, which is equivalent with the person exists. So the I or the me exists. So the self exists, yeah. When we discard, when we refute the self, it's a kind of self which never existed, yeah. So just a tiny point. Okay, then we have also non-existent, existent, and existent is divided in permanent, impermanent, and so on. We will try to play with that, yeah. And also we could, so just to start, okay, it follows that you can give the definition of impermanent.
Momentary changing.
Yes, momentary or momentary changing, yeah. Momentary could be sufficient if you wish, yeah. But momentary changing is perfect as well. Okay, it follows that the subject momentary changing is the definition of impermanent.
Accept.
Yes. So it follows that you can posit the definition of permanent.
Accept.
Yes, posit.
Not changing moment by moment.
Oh, crunching. Who would like to add something? Yes, please.
It exists and does not change moment to moment.
Oh,
Exists,
it exists.
So
And
can I ask a question? Because before we, selfless, there was a non-existent on that side.
yes,
Is that like off to the side, or is that selfless? Yeah. Is that,
yes,
what
yes,
does
as
that
you can see, the two clouds, so non-existent and existent, they are in the sky of selfless, yeah.
within?
So the sky of selfless is pervading everything, yeah. Yeah, they would
Okay.
say in the text, yeah, "Yöme ganruyena dharma impeccable." They would say if it exists or not, it has to be selfless. Yeah. Okay, very good. Yes. Okay. And yes, the subject phenomenon which is not momentary, it follows it is the definition of permanent.
Is not permanently is accept.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, yeah, we could say take the subject. It follows that the subject, the blue unicorn, is permanent because it's not momentary. Oh, yes. It is not momentary because it doesn't exist. But not being momentary doesn't prove that it is permanent, yeah? There is no pervasion, yeah? Yeah, okay, very good. Thank you so much. Okay. Then we can divide also existent in one and different. Our favorite topic. Oh, so it follows you can posit the definition of one.
A phenomenon that is not diverse.
A phenomenon which is not diverse, it follows it is the definition of one.
Except.
Okay. And it follows we can posit the definition of different.
Diverse phenomena.
Yeah, it follows that the subject diverse phenomena is the definition of different. Yes, perfect. Yes, you have them here. And yes, we have in plural, yeah, diverse phenomena. But if we have, for instance, the definition of different from pot,
It's a diverse phenomena from pot.
yes, exactly. We can formulate it like this, or even in singular, we could say, yeah, the subject, for instance, the subject table is a diverse phenomenon from pot. Yeah, so it's plural here, but you can have in some cases a singular, yeah, way to express that, yeah.
So can I say anything is diverse? So instead of it can be something or anything.
Yeah, we
Different
can.
from a thing.
Yes, it needs to exist, yeah. That's the main point, yeah. It has to exist because as you see, it belongs to the cloud existence, yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's permanent or not permanent.
Exactly, yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anything can be different. It is some phenomena. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and they have to be diverse or different. Yeah, mainly different because when we have the comparisons, contradictory, equivalent, and so on, we compare sufficiently different phenomena. They have to be different either in name, like here, so diverse in name, or in meaning, or in both name and meaning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, very good. So for the thought consciousness has to be able to distinguish them, yeah? They have to exist and the thought consciousness is able to distinguish them, yeah? Either by name or meaning or name and meaning, yeah? Okay, very good. Diverse phenomena. So something very important when we compare phenomena, we are always comparing phenomena which are something which is that, yeah? Like for instance, a common base between red and color, yeah, it's easy, yeah? Would be what?
A red cup.
Red color.
Yes, the color of a red cup, for instance, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so a common base, yeah, a common base has to exist, yeah, has to exist, and it is then a phenomenon which is red and which is a color, yeah. That's the main point here when we try to find a common base between two phenomena, two different phenomena, yeah. Yeah, like for instance, the color of a red apple, for instance. Okay.
And
Like,
why are you saying color of a red apple instead of red apple?
yes, because the subject red apple, it follows it is not a color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it follows that the subject, the color of a red apple is a color,
Yes,
and
acceptable.
it is red. Yeah. So it is a common base between red and color. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so like for instance, we cannot find any common base between red and non-color. Yeah, it's not possible, yeah? Yeah, because there is nothing which could be red, but not a color. Yeah, if it is red, it has to be a color. Yeah. Okay, very good. And yes, we are not comparing, we are not saying it follows the subject red is a non-color. Yeah, or it follows that the subject non-color is red. Yeah, if it is red, is it a non-color? Yeah, if it is a non-color, can it be red? Yeah, that's the point here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, very good. Okay, so contradictory, you know by heart, yeah, they are different with no common base. Equivalent, they are different and they share the 8 doors of perversion, you know it by heart. 3P, it can be that configuration or the other. So that's why the challenger needs to ask you, posit the perversion. And 4P, easy. Yeah, okay, let's try to play. It follows that you don't know the difference between the two, one and different. Be careful of the challenger, yeah? Very tough. So the first answer, the very first answer that you have to say?
The reason is not established.
Yes, exactly. The reason is not established, yeah? Okay, yeah, that's the very first answer. Then it follows that you know the difference between the two, one and different.
Accept.
Yes, accept. Posit. I cannot do the other way.
Contradictory.
Contradictory for Zigrula. Who would say something else?
Same.
Same. Yes, same. Okay.
Yes, it's contradictory.
Yeah, contradictory. Okay. Yeah, the defender as well. Okay. So you are all very sharp. Okay, contradictory. It follows that the subject, the two, one, and different are contradictory.
Accept.
Accept, yes. Exactly, yes. The subject, the two, one, and different are contradictory because?
Because if it's one, it's necessarily not different. And if it's different, it's necessarily not one.
Ah, that's interesting. It follows that a blue unicorn and a pink unicorn are contradictory
So
because
repeat.
because a blue unicorn cannot be a pink unicorn, and a pink unicorn can, if it is a blue unicorn, it cannot be a pink unicorn, and if it is a pink unicorn, it cannot be a blue unicorn.
Can you repeat the whole statement? Reason is not established, I guess.
Ah,
It is a phenomena. No, because it is a phenomena, right? I think that's what we missed.
yes, they need to be different, yeah. And in order to be different, they have to be phenomena which are diverse, yeah. But that's true, yeah. If it is, yeah, that's why the 8 doors of perversion seem not to be enough. That's why they said they are different and they share the 8 doors of perversion, yeah. If we say just the 8 doors of perversion, yeah, that would be difficult to say if it is a blue unicorn, if it is not a pink unicorn, or if there is a blue unicorn and so on. Yeah, because there is no blue unicorn, yeah. But if we say, yeah, if it is the one, it cannot be the other, and if it's the other, it cannot be the one, the first one, then we could find some vicious challenger who says, okay, it follows that two horns of the rabbit are contradictory. Would you agree with
Horns
that?
of a rabbit, I said if it is one, it's necessarily not different. If it is one, it's already a phenomenon.
Yes. And the answer that we could give but doesn't fit would be a blue unicorn. Sorry, one is not if it is one, yeah. Yeah, if it is one, it cannot be different. Yeah, if it were to be a blue unicorn, it could be not it could not be a pink unicorn. Because there is the condition, yeah. If but still it's a kind of a tricky point, and I don't want to confuse you too much. Yeah. Otherwise, yes, Zigrona, you were right. Yeah. If you just if we add Palavila's answer and Zigrona's answer, then it's perfect. Yeah, if they are different and they have no common base. Oh, yes. That's the point. Yeah, I was confusing with myself with equivalent. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if we say one cannot be different and different cannot be one, that would be a bit confusing, no? Okay, well, let's try to check that because we will see that in the further slides. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Zengrunla, could you repeat, please, your answer?
If it is one, it's necessarily not different. And if it's different, it's necessarily not one.
Yeah. Ah, okay. Still the challenger will say, okay. Yeah, if it is a round square, it cannot be a square round. And if it is a square round, it cannot be a round square. Okay. Yes, so yeah, we could find some some point behind that, yeah. Okay, so if they are different and no common base, yeah, they have no common base, yeah. They have no common base, but they are different, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry if I sometimes I try to trick you, but it seems not to work. Okay. They are different with no common base. Yeah, that's the definition of contradictory. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very good.
So is that
Okay.
how we posit the pervasion for contradictory?
Yeah, the definition of contradictory, yeah. The definition, yeah. Yeah, if they are different with no common base, then they are necessarily contradictory because different with no common base is the definition of contradictory, yeah.
Okay. So we don't say it in that pervasion kind of sense that we use for 3P.
Exactly, yeah. The perversion works only for 3P, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Oh, yes, sometimes we could we use the same words in different contexts, yeah, like posit the perversion for 3P, and there is no perversion if I say, for instance, okay, if if they have no common base, yeah, like for instance, the subject, the two blue unicorn and red unicorn are contradictory because they have no common base. No perversion. They have no common base, that's true. Yeah, but no perversion, yeah, because they don't exist, they cannot be contradictory, yeah. Yeah, so that's why perversion can be used in different contexts. Yeah. Very good.
I have
So,
a question.
yes,
Yeah,
please.
the pervasion can only be used when we are trying to establish a 3P relationship, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, we cannot use pervasion for establishing the other three types of relationship, like equivalent, contradictory, or 4P.
Exactly, yeah, because for contradiction, there is if it is the one, it cannot be the other, as Zingrunla said before. No, I agree with Zingrunla. If it were to be A, it could not be B. And if it were to be B, it could not be A. Yeah, so we cannot posit the perversion. And for equivalent, yeah, if it is the one, it has to be the other. Yeah, if it is the other, it has to be the one. So they are coextensive for equivalent. Yeah. And for
Yes, the
4P,
eight doors.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. And for 4P, you necessarily have something which is A and not B, and B and not A. Yeah, very
Yes.
good. Okay, yeah, very good. Very good. Okay. By the way, for next time, if you want to be the challenger, yeah, you can decide for some debate. And next time would be, I guess, after 2 weeks. So we will confirm you. Then you have time if you want to imagine, if you want to trick us, yeah, if you want to make us nuts. Please enjoy and try to find some debate and try to be the challenger. Yeah? Okay, so it follows that the subject so it follows that if they are different with no common base, they are necessarily contradictory. Yes, because that's the definition. Yeah. Accept. Yeah. Okay. It follows that the subject different is a common base between the two, one and different. Is it a two-part consequence or a three-part consequence?
Two-part consequence.
Yes, because no reason is given, yeah? Yeah, only that there's only one thesis, yeah? So then what should we say? Yeah, the two kinds of answers?
Except or why?
Except and why.
Yeah, very good, very good. So now that we know that, which one do you choose?
Why?
Why, for Zingrula?
Right.
Yes, why?
Why?
Why? Nobody dares to say accept. Oh, I cannot play. I can't trick you. Okay, so okay, it follows that a subject different is a common base between the two, one and different. So yes, if you say if you say why, all right, yeah, okay. It follows that the subject different is not a common base between the two, one and different. Yeah, we have to accept, yeah? We have no choice. Okay, accept, very good. It follows that there is no common base between the two, one and different.
Accept.
Okay, there is no common base between the two, one and different. So it follows that the subject different is not one.
Accept.
One.
Ah, it follows that the subject different is one.
Accept.
So it's a common base between different and one, because it is one.
It's one, but it's not different.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. The subject different is not different because it is one. Halavila, your eyebrows tell so many things. Yes, the subject different itself, yeah. We are not saying if it is different, yeah. We are just telling the subject different itself, yeah. Different is not compared with anything else, yeah. So it is one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But it has to be different from something.
Exactly. It has to be compared with something, yeah, in order to be different. Otherwise, it's just one.
But what about if it is a set of things? What about all the roses in the garden?
Yes.
So many roses. They're not
Yes.
one. Well, a set is one.
The set is one, yeah, but they are all different. They are all different. The parts of the set are necessarily different.
The parts of the set are necessarily different. Yes,
Yeah.
but the set is one. That's why different is one and it is not different.
Ah,
What you're
yes,
saying?
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see.
The set is one because it's compared with anything, with nothing else. Yeah. Yeah. If we compare the set and the parts of the set, then it's different. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So it follows that there is no common base between the two, one and different. Yes, we accept it. Yeah. Okay, accept. So there is no common base between the two, one and different because.
Because they are different with no common base.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it follows that if they are different with no common base, they necessarily don't have any common base.
Accept.
Yes. Yes, it's one part of the definition, yeah. And we could say as well, like the defender is telling us, if it is one, it's necessarily not different. And if it is different, it's necessarily not one. So that's why different itself is not different. Because it is one.
Mm.
Yeah?
You just stole from Sigrunda.
Yes. Zingrunla is my inspiration. Yes. We can say, yeah, if it is one, it's necessarily not different. And if it is different, it's necessarily not one. That's why there is no common base between one and different. Yeah. Okay, very good. Very good. Yes.
But
Then
didn't we just say if it is different, it is one?
it is not one. The subject different itself is one, but if it is different, it is necessarily not one.
Oh, so subject different is one.
Yeah.
But if any object is different, then it is not, because then you're talking about the instance. But when you're talking
Yes.
about the higher level, okay. If
Yes,
it is different, that's why you keep saying if it is different. Okay.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes we mix both contexts, yeah, and it's a bit yeah, it's a bit confusing for us, yeah. So that's why it's very important to see, yeah, how we figure out those things, yeah. Yeah, the subject different itself, yeah, is defined, yeah, we say in English, it is defined as a phenomenon which is not sorry, a diverse phenomena. Yeah, so the subject different is a definiendum. We don't say are definienda or are phenomena which are diverse and so on. Yeah, we say the subject different is a word, is an English word and so on. Yeah, so it's singular. Yeah, yeah. But if they are different, they are necessarily not one. Yeah, because it's plural in this case. Yeah. Very good. Or we could say if it is different, yeah, in singular, we can say that the subject pot is different from a horned rabbit, yeah. It follows that the subject pot is different from horned rabbit,
Except.
except some doubt. Mm.
Yeah, I think those two are not comparable.
Mm.
Yeah.
Compare them?
Yeah, because
Mm.
horn of a rabbit still non-existent.
Yeah, we could say that the subject, the two horned rabbit and pot, what was it? Different from no pot, yeah. Yeah, okay. It follows that the subject, the two horned rabbit and pot are not different. Yeah, we would accept that. They are not mutually different. But pot is still a phenomenon which is diverse from horned rabbit, no?
Yes,
Not
but
really.
I
Not
thought to compare we needed things that exist.
Yes, exactly. If we compare the set, yeah, the set of two things, they have to exist. Yeah, if we say the subject, the two pot and pillar are different, yeah, it works. If we say the subject, the two horned rabbit and pot are different, it would not be correct. Yeah, but we can still say that pot exists and it is not one with horned rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah, so if it exists and it is not one with horned rabbit, then it is different from horned rabbit.
okay.
Still, there is only pot who exists, yeah? The horned rabbit doesn't exist. That's why in some cases we can say a phenomenon which is diverse from something else, yeah?
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
but we can't say they're contradictory. Got it.
Exactly, they are not contradictory. We can just say that pot is contradictory with horned rabbit. But if we say they are mutually exclusive, then we would have an issue, yeah, because it means that both are they are mutually contradictory. But both are not mutually contradictory. Yeah? Only one is contradictory with the other. Yeah.
Oh, one is contradictory with the other, but we cannot posit a relation between them.
Yes, exactly. Between the set of the two, exactly.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
contradictory can also be said for the two, or one contradictory with the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Like existent is contradictory with non-existent. Yeah? But the two non-existent and existent are not contradictory.
Contradictory.
Yes. Because it would imply that both are phenomena and they have no common base, they are different and they have no common base. Yeah? That only existent is different from non-existent, and only existent is contradictory with non-existent, yeah?
But wouldn't that also imply the contradiction between the two?
So yes, we could, but if we formulate only in this way, yeah, that the subject existent is contradictory with non-existent, we cannot say that both are contradictory. because
Okay.
otherwise both would have to exist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Does it work for everyone?
So why is it that we only use existent phenomena to compare two subjects?
Yeah, because if we compare, for instance, the subject, the two, A and B, then if we say contradictory, they have to be both different with no common base. If we say equivalent, they have to be both different and sharing the ADOs or perversions and so on, yeah? And so on and so on, yeah? So that's why in 99% of the cases, we need existent phenomena. But in very specific cases, we can say, okay, like, yeah, pot is contradictory with non-existent, but both are not contradictory. There is no mutual exclusion. There is no mutual contradiction. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why we can say that the subject non-existent doesn't exist, but is not contradictory with existent. Yeah.
So I think maybe they created that category of and the way is I was thinking about this because we talked about it earlier in this week. That non-existent, then we're not debating things about non-existent things to now create a relationship and establish and debate. Once you've established it is non-existent, they automatically fall into a category where it's not worthy of being debated. That saying, what is the relationship this way? And like, it's like trying to debate with a schizophrenic person, like, oh, the government is watching me, and like, look at this thing. Like, no, that doesn't exist. Like, once we define it is not existent, then we don't need to create the relationship constantly. I think that's
Yeah.
why they put that category.
Yes, exactly. Or the relationship goes in only one way.
Yeah.
It's only one-way relationship, yeah. Like pot is different and contradictory with another habit, yeah.
And it's really good to identify what is non-existent, because in our minds we might imagine things like as if maybe in meditation or whatever, or just an anxiety attack or a panic attack. But once we define, wait, that is just my thought, momentary, stating whatever. Like once you define it is not existent, then you can crush it with analysis, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, fear comes in.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why at least I'm using it right now.
Yes, we could even say that once we crush it with analysis, then we can understand that it doesn't exist. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So
Thank
yes. So the difference is very, very important, yeah, between the subject itself and what is that subject. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we'll try to debate with that as well. Yeah? Okay. So one and different, you know that there is no common base. Yeah. Between one and different. Different is not different. Yeah. But different is one. That's okay. Different is one, but it is not different. Yeah? If it is one, it's not different. If it is different, it's not one. Yeah? So they are different and they have no common base. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Otherwise, we would say, okay, horned rabbit, yeah, blue unicorn is not a pink unicorn. That's true. Yeah. Because it's nothing. And pink unicorn is not a blue unicorn. That's true as well. Yeah. Because pink unicorn doesn't exist, so it cannot be a blue unicorn. Yeah. So that's why both are, yeah, they have no common base, but still they are not contradictory. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Very good. It follows that you know the difference between the two, one and different from one. Oh, now we enter in the crunchy things. Yes. Between, yeah, yeah, Bob and Stuart are escaping. Between the two, one and different from one. Hello, Tobias. I haven't seen your cam before, eh? I was
Hello,
checking
hello.
if Hiwonla was still there.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I am. I just this is very new, so I don't really know how to jump in. So I'm just
Okay.
absorbing.
Yes, no problem. No problem. The comparison, yeah, Hiwonla, you're still there. Okay. So the defender is trying to check, yeah,
Between
do you
one and
think?
different from one. So there's no common base between one and different from one.
So
So
they
it's
are
a
different.
merging or
So you would say contradictory, yeah, Hiwonla. So yeah, the job of the defender just for Tobias is to check, okay, do you find something which is A and B, something which is A, not B, something which is B, not A, and something which is none of them? Yeah, so could you find something which is one and different from one? So of course, if the definitions are very new to you, it's a bit complex, but yeah, sorry, I didn't know that we would have newcomers
No,
today.
no worries. It's but yeah, it's just like the terminology is new. So just
Okay.
keep going. I'm trying to just absorb a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. So for here online, we have contradictory who would enter the club of contradictory or something else.
I think 4P.
4P for Zingrunla. Uh-huh.
I don't
Oh.
think it,
Yes, please.
so if there's no common base, then of course it's contradictory. But I feel like there is something that must. I kind of feel like it's 3P,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah, we are checking that. Can we find something which is different from one, but still one? You know, remember if you remember well, a previous time we did, like for instance, is the subject cup, the red cup, sorry, the subject cup, it follows the subject red cup is a cup.
Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
the subject red cup is not one with cup.
True.
Because it is a red cup, yeah, it's not just cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
red cup, yeah, so it's different from cup.
Mm.
Yeah, still it is a cup.
Yeah.
So you can find something which is at the same time different from cup, still it is a cup. So could you apply that to one and different from one?
For example, a tree.
Yes, for instance, yeah, a tree, yeah. Yeah. So what did I put? Yeah. Okay. So could we find the blue unicorn?
No,
Mhm.
because it's a non-existent.
It's
It's
non-existent.
non-existent. So it cannot be a common base because a common base has to exist. Yeah. And it cannot be one because one needs to be a phenomenon and different needs to be a phenomenon as well.
Phenomenon.
So
Yes.
the unicorn has to be put aside. So if we try one which is not different from one,
One which is not different from one.
is it one?
Yes. Yeah,
Mm.
by definition, it will be one.
Mm.
Because one is a phenomena which is not diverse, and not different from one means it is a phenomena which is not diverse from one.
Yeah, we could
Yeah,
say that.
it will be one.
Yes, not different from one. It's not a phenomenon which is diverse from one. Yeah, yeah, not
Yes.
different from one. Yeah, if you exclude the definition, you need to exclude the definition. Yeah, so one
Yes.
which is not different from one is one. No?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. It is.
the subject itself is one. Yeah, and it is different
Yes.
from one. No?
Yes.
Yeah, so it could work. Oh, fantastic. Okay, flower. Yeah,
Mm.
Zingrala, you have the tree. Yeah. Yeah, table, tree, yes, we have it. Okay, it follows that the subject, the tree, it is one.
Except
It is one because?
it's
It is not
a
diverse.
phenomenon and it's not diverse.
Yes. Because if we say it's not diverse, then we have a difficulty, no? If we say because
Yes,
it's
yes.
not diverse, then blue
It's
unicorn is not diverse, yeah?
Yes, it is a
Okay.
phenomena
Yes, it follows
which is
that.
not diverse.
Yes, very good. If it follows that if it is a phenomenon which is not diverse, it's necessarily one.
Except
Except,
Yes, it's a phenomenon, it exists. Yeah, phenomenon and existent are equivalent, and it's not diverse, at least for the thought consciousness. Yeah, like tree
yes.
is one because it's compared with nothing else. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, it's a phenomenon and it's not diverse. It's not diverse from anything else. Yeah, because it's just selected or isolated from everything else. Yeah. Okay, and it follows that the subject tree is different from one.
except
Ah,
Diverse from tree.
yeah, is different from one because
because it's a diverse phenomenon from one.
yes, it follows that if it's a diverse phenomenon from one or a phenomenon which is diverse from one, it's necessarily different from one.
Different from one. Yes.
Yes, it is diverse in name and
Mm.
in meaning, yeah, from one, yeah. So it is different from one,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Wow, very good. So now could we find something which is one but not different from one?
The subject one.
The subject one. Everybody agrees?
Mhm.
Yes, it follows, Zingrunla, that the subject one is one.
Except
Yeah, the subject one is one because it is one.
because it's
Phenomena which is not
not a
diverse.
it's a phenomena, not a phenomenon and not diverse.
Yes, it follows that the subject one is one because it's a phenomenon which is not diverse. Yes. Yes, in very specific textbook on logic, yeah, in pointing the way to reasoning, yeah, Chonela Machidu would say that it's a madrubetensi, invalid reason, yeah, a non-established reason because two members of the syllogism are not different, yeah. It follows that the subject one is one, so there is no difference between the two. Yeah, so that's why he would say it's not a correct reason, yeah. But here we would accept
It's
it. Yeah.
one because it's not different. And a
Yes,
phenomenon. No, it
exactly.
doesn't work either.
Yeah, if we say it follows that the subject one is one because it's a phenomenon which is not diverse, then still the predicate and the subject are not different. Yeah. So we would have an issue for Chanela Mashadu. We would say it's a madrupetensi.
It has a common locus with existent and not with different.
Yes, exactly. In this case, it works. Yeah? It follows that the subject one is exists and is not different because, but we already prove our point. So we don't need to give any further reason. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, the subject one is one because it is one. Yeah, we don't prove anything. Yeah, okay. Very good. So
Because
yeah.
the thought consciousness cannot distinguish it.
Yes, exactly. But we could say it follows that if the thought consciousness cannot distinguish it, it's necessarily one.
I think I would accept.
Yes.
You have to pause it.
For instance, can the thought consciousness distinguish blue horned rabbit and blue horned rabbit?
It has to exist also.
Okay. Okay, very good. So let's try with one with one. Is the subject one with one one?
Follows you can posit the meaning of one with one.
Yeah, the phenomenon which is not diverse from one.
One with one is not diverse from one.
Yeah, the subject. Oh, really? So the subject one with one is one with one.
One with one is a phenomena which is not diverse from one.
Ah,
One with one, which is not diverse from one.
so it follows that the subject one with one is not diverse from one, which has only
Yes.
one name, one word. One with one has three words.
What is the meaning of one with one?
A phenomenon which is not diverse from one. That's the definition, yeah?
Yes. So it is one with one.
Ah. So,
Oh, wait.
so it follows that,
One.
that not in the multiverse of Doctor Strange, not only one is one with one. We have also one with one, which is one with one. Okay.
This
So,
can go on ad infinitum then.
sorry?
This can go on ad infinitum then.
Yes, exactly. And it would be wrong to say that. Yeah, one with one, the subject one with one is one with one.
Okay.
Yes. The
Yes.
subject one with one is
Is
one with one.
correct.
Yeah, only one is one with one. Yeah, just to prepare you with the isolates, yeah, when we enter into that later. Yeah,
Sorry, again, only one is.
only one is one with one, yeah? Yeah,
Yeah.
the subject one with one itself is different from one.
But the thought consciousness can think of one with one as one. Or
Exactly. Yeah, one with one is one, but it is not one with one.
why?
Yeah, because one with one, we have three words, yeah? And in order to be one with that, you need three words as well, yeah? So
Yes, one with one.
only one with one is one with one.
One with one. Yes, correct.
Yes. So it follows
Yes.
that one with one is not one with one. It's not itself.
One with one.
Your
is
thought
not-
consciousness can distinguish it, ours not.
Yes. Yes. On one side you have three words, one with one, and on the other side you have just one.
One word, yes. One.
Yes. So only one is one with one. One with one is not
Yes.
one with one. It is different from one.
But let's try to label something. If I call this iPhone and now it is Apple iPhone. Apple iPhone is one with Apple iPhone. iPhone is one with Apple iPhone. Why? Because they're the same thing. We're calling it the same thing. Apple iPhone, iPhone.
It's not the same thing. Yeah, it's not exactly the same thing. If you say Apple with a phone or Apple phone or Samsung phone, you need to specify many brands. Yes,
But why is
absolutely.
iPhone not one with Apple iPhone?
Because it is different from Apple iPhone. If it is different from Apple iPhone, it's necessarily not one with it.
Because only Apple iPhone could be one with Apple iPhone.
Yes.
But all I've described is an attribute of that thing, Apple iPhone. It is the
Yes.
iPhone. All I gave was an attribute of the thing. So it's not
Yes.
different. It is the same thing
So
with an
it-
attribute.
they are one entity, but they are not one. Like the red cup and cup, they are one entity, yeah, but they are not one. The red cup
Okay.
and cup are different.
Because I have said, and you put a color on it and they are
Yes,
different because
exactly. Yeah, it follows that the subject red cup is different from cup.
yeah, except.
Okay, so it follows that the subject cup is the only thing in the multiverse of Doctor Strange that is one with cup.
Except.
Yeah, so even the subject one with cup is not one with cup, because only cup is one with cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one with cup is also like an attribute of attached to
Yes.
cup. One
It's
with
much
cup.
more specific, yeah. We exclude all the instances of cup. We just select the self-isolate cup, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Sorry with that tricky example, yeah.
So, but one with one is one?
Yes, it is one, but it is not one with one. It is different from one. Still, it is one. Yeah, like the red cup is a cup, but it's different from cup.
Red cup is a cup, but it's different from cup. Yes.
Yes. So one with one is one because it's compared with anything else. It's not compared with anything else. Still, it is not one with one. It is different from one. Yeah, because only one is one with one. Okay, headache? Yes.
So
That's
the
very,
red cup is one with red cup, and
yes,
cup is one with cup.
exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic, yeah. So here, one with one is different from one, yeah. So it could not be, it could not go in one, but something which is not different from one, yeah. So it cannot, it could go where the tree is.
Can
Yeah,
I
one,
ask one question?
yes,
So
please.
the red cup that you have is the exactly same as the cup itself. It's just that you gave the name of it as red cup and it is cup. So itself exists as the same, but you just named it differently. So why is it? So your naming is just that one with
Mm,
one is one.
yeah.
Like I just feel like there's something missing there. It's a naming. That's one. The red cup is the cup. It's same existing as a cup, but you only named it as red cup and cup. But
Yes.
they're same existing is existing as the same cup.
Yeah, we can say that this red cup is pervaded by the characteristic of being a cup. Yeah, it is a cup. Yeah, this red cup is a cup, yeah? Yeah.
What I'm saying is that is existing as same as whether you call it a red cup or whether you call it a cup.
Yes, exactly. So we can say that this object is at the same time a cup and a red cup. So it's a common base between red cup and cup.
Yes.
Yes. So that's why this very thing here is one entity, one substance, and red cup, which is mine, cup, beautiful cup, clean cup, and so on. They are attributed to that cup.
Yes.
Yeah,
That specific cup.
that specific cup. Yeah, exactly. They are all one entity with that cup. Yeah. In the very nature of that cup, yeah, it's a red cup, it's a cup, it's a form, it's a functioning thing, it's existent, and so on. It's not really clean.
So why is that one not same one with one? Like why
Yeah, because
that specific?
yes, that's a very good good question because the way our thought consciousness is operating is through exclusion, yeah. When we think about cup, we don't think about red cup, pink cup. Like for instance, we can imagine that next time we will meet, it will be your birthday, and then we will say, okay, we bought a gift for Hiwonla, then we will bring a cup. But then in your mind, what kind of cup do you imagine? Yeah, would it be a red cup, a green cup, a big cup, a clean cup, I hope, a new cup? Yes, a thermos cup, and so on. Yeah, but in your mind, it's just cup. Yeah, so your thought consciousness is excluding everything else that it is not cup itself. But you could have an image of something that you saw previously in your kitchen, like a green cup or a red cup. That's possible, but still the meaning of that image would be just cup itself. Yeah. If we think, okay, if we tell you, okay, next time we will bring you a red cup, then you add something else by your thought consciousness, and your thought consciousness will exclude everything else. So that's why the thought consciousness is operating through exclusion, yeah, through elimination. Everything that is not explicitly apprehended by the thought consciousness would be excluded, yeah. That's why we learn those points with the isolates, yeah, because the thought consciousness is isolating the very thing itself from everything that is not it. No? Yeah, that's a difficult question. That's a difficult question, yeah. Like we would say, okay, we could say, yes, the cup itself is only one thing, yeah, okay. But still we can qualify it in many ways, yeah. Yeah. A pink, sorry, yes, it is pinkish, yeah, reddish pinkish, yeah. Red cup, thermos cup, new cup, old cup, and so on, yeah. Yeah. So those phenomena, old cup and so on, they exist. They exist, yeah. But still they are not a separate entity from the cup itself, yeah. They are characteristics of the cup itself, yeah. So they all exist in the very same nature, the very same entity, or the very same substance, we could say. Yeah. Still, for the thought consciousness, they are different. Yeah. Like, for instance, yes, there is a common way to think about that, you know, when Arya Avalokiteshvara says, Zu tompani zuso, zu le tompani shamayin, tompani le kyonzu shamayin, eh? Form is empty, emptiness is form. There is no other form than emptiness, and there is no other emptiness than form. In the very nature of the cup, you have emptiness. Yeah, emptiness is in one entity with the cup. But we are not saying that they are one. Emptiness of the cup and the cup, they are necessarily contradictory. They are not one. They are different and they are contradictory, but they are not different entities. They are one entity. They coexist in the very same entity, the very same object.
Mm-hmm.
The one is the conventional truth, the other one is the ultimate truth, yeah, and they are necessarily contradictory, yeah. Still, they exist in the same thing, like your aggregates and you, yeah, your five aggregates and you are contradictory, but you exist in the very same nature and the very same substance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So different ways to address the same phenomenon in one sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So does it matter because my eye consciousness says that that's the same cup, but the
Yes.
be
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah, yes, that's why they are one substance. Yeah, the red cup and cup, they are one substance because the meaning of one substance is they appear to the same direct perception and they don't appear separately. Yeah. To the same direct perception to which they appear, they don't appear separately. Yeah. That's why the red cup and cup are one substance. Still, there are different phenomena for the thought consciousness. Yeah, the thought consciousness is able to say, okay, a red cup and cup are different because a red cup is an instance of cup. No.
So how I'm understanding this is that if it is one entity, they appear as one to the to the sense consciousness. But if we're talking about one, we're talking about how it appears to thought consciousness.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So we would say that if they are one substance or one entity, they don't appear separately. Yeah, it doesn't mean that they have to appear as one. They don't appear as different or they don't appear separately. Yeah. So it's not exactly the same meaning to say that they don't appear separately, then they appear as one. Yeah, Kirubje would not agree with that. He would say, like for instance, sound doesn't appear as selfless. It doesn't mean that sound appears as being a self. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why we say in a negative way, yeah, they appear like red cup and cup. They are one substance because they appear to the same direct perception and they don't appear separately. But still, they appear separately for the thought consciousness. Yeah, that's perfectly right. Yeah.
Okay. So how would we work with water and pani, or water and H2O?
Yes, they are one substance,
One
but
substance,
they
and
are
also
still different.
they're still different, not one.
Because they are not one, because only H2O is one with H2O.
Mm-hmm.
But the thought consciousness is thinking of the same thing.
Exactly. So the meaning is the same in one sense. We could say the referent is the same, but the name is different. Yeah. You remember when we said different phenomena, they can be different in name or in meaning or in both name and meaning, yeah. And in the case of water, pani, and vari in Sanskrit, for instance, we have exactly the same referent, but the different names, so they still are different. But they are one substance, yeah. If you refer to the one, you necessarily refer to the other one. Yeah.
Yes, they are one entity and one substance, but they are not one, because only water is one with water and only H2O is one with H2O.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Exactly the case, yeah. Yeah, does it work, everyone now? Yeah.
So is red cup and cup contradictory?
They are not, yeah?
They're not contradictory.
They are just different, yeah.
Okay.
And when phenomena are different, we can compare them in contradictory, equivalent, 3P and 4P, yeah? So red cup and cup, how many points?
3P.
3P.
3P, yes. Yeah, positive perversion.
A red cup is necessarily, if a red cup is if a red cup
It is a
is
red cup.
If it is a red cup, it is
it is, thank
necessarily
A cup.
a cup, and if it is a cup, it is not necessarily a red cup.
Yes, fantastic. So we have something which is A and B, the first possibility. We have something which is B and not A, like cup, but not a red cup, the second possibility, and something which is none of them, yeah, like water. Yeah, so 3P, three possibilities. Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So to just to with one, yeah. One with one is different from one, yeah. Okay, if we say a phenomenon which is not diverse, is it one?
I
Yeah,
think
you're-
that also
a
works.
that is the definition of one, a
yes,
phenomena which is not diverse.
yes,
Yeah.
it's the definition of one, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's a definition, one definition, yeah. So it's one, huh? Okay, very good. Is it different from one or not different from one?
Different from one, which is
It is
not diverse.
different from one. Not sure for Palavila. Sorry, for Chavila.
What is the question you asked?
Yeah, is a phenomenon which is not diverse. Yeah, the subject, it follows that the subject, a phenomenon which is not diverse, is not different from one.
It is different from one,
Ah, it is different from one. It is different from one because
because only one is one with one.
exactly. Wow, very good. Yes. So, yes, exactly. So, yes, it follows then the subject, a phenomenon which is not diverse is one, yeah, but is different from one as well. So it could be, yeah, where we found the tree as well, yeah. Okay, and Zingrunla found one. It follows that the subject is one. The subject one is one. Yeah, we said that, yeah. Yeah. Okay, and it is not different from one. Yes, you accept? The subject one is not different from one.
Is not different from one. Yes.
Yes,
Because
it's not different from one because,
it is one with one.
yes, if it is one with one, it's necessarily not different from one. Yes, and if it is different from one, is it necessarily one with one?
Except,
Oh, so the blue unicorn with
oh,
pink,
sorry, if it is different from one.
with
Okay.
pink legs is not
Oh, yeah.
different
It is
from one. Eh? Yeah, that's
it's not different from one.
my usual trick. Yeah, sorry. So yes, it follows that if it exists and is not different from one, it's necessarily one with one.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Okay. So can we find something which is different from one, but it is not one. Ah.
Different from one, but is not one. Something which is diverse from one. Different from one.
It is different from one. Or I could
Different.
say, yeah, in Tibetan, we don't say it is or they are. I would say, chi dans tade ina. They would say, it is or they are different from one. And it is, or they are not one. Yeah, in Tibetan, we will not have so much concern with it, the verb itself, yeah, plural, singular, yeah. Okay. So it could give a clue, no?
So different from one.
Two.
Yes. So that would be the subject, yeah? The illustration of something which is different from one, but not one.
Yeah.
It follows that the subject different from one is different from one.
Accept.
Yes, it is different from one because
It's not one with one.
Because it
Because-
is.
It is.
Because it is not one with one.
So it follows that if it is not one with one, it's necessarily different from one.
Accept.
So the 1000 blue horned rabbit.
And existent.
Okay. If it exists and it is not one with one, it's necessarily different from one.
Accept.
Yes, okay, but is the subject different from one or different?
It is different
Different from what?
from one.
Okay. But but here the subject different from one is not compared with anything else, yeah? We just said different from one. Eh?
So
We have
different from one is one with different from one.
exactly, so it is one.
Yes. Different from one is one with no, it is different from one.
Yes, it
Different
is
from
different
one.
from one, but still it is one. Okay. Yes, it is one, no? Different from one. Because
Different from one is not one.
no, it's multiple, it's many, different from one.
Yes, it has many isolates.
Yes. So in this case, we need to choose the different manifestations themselves, no? Like if you choose, for instance, like okay, I will try to give a clue. Like four cups. Yeah, there are multiple, there are many, yeah. So
Yes.
they are necessarily not one. Yeah, so if you choose many phenomena, you're sure that it's not one, that it's excluded from the circle one, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so it follows that those many cups, they are different from one.
Yes.
Okay, they are different from one, and it follows that those four cups, they are not one.
They are not one because to be one, it has to be a phenomena which is not diverse, and these are four different cups.
Exactly, yes, exactly. So in this circle, yeah, which is B not A, you necessarily need many phenomena.
Yes.
So different from one itself would not work. Different from one would be where the tree is. It is one, and it is different from one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Wow. Very, very sharp class today. Okay. As usual. Okay, so now it follows that it's not the case because you cannot posit something which is none of them. One and different from one.
Yes. Now, some types.
Horn of a unicorn.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, the horn of a blue unicorn. I put the pink elephant. Yeah. Yeah, the blue unicorn, it follows that it is not one. It
Yes.
follows that one blue unicorn is not one.
Accept.
Correct. Accept.
But we say one blue unicorn, it is one, because it is one blue
Is it?
unicorn.
One. Yes.
Okay, so it follows that one blue unicorn is different because it is not one.
No, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Yes, because it does not even exist. It has to be an existent phenomena. That's the first
exactly.
criteria.
Yes.
And even if it did exist, it would have to be one with itself. It could only be one with itself if it did exist, and it doesn't.
Yes, if it exists, exactly. Yes, even one unicorn is not one
Yeah.
because it's not a phenomenon which is not diverse. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a pink elephant is not one, and it's not different from one.
Correct.
It is not because
It does not exist.
yes, if it doesn't exist, it cannot be a phenomenon which is diverse from one because phenomenon and existent are equivalent. Wow, fantastic. So how many points between what and what? 4p between one and different from one. Yes. Yes, it's counterintuitive because on the very first spot, we think, oh, if it is different from one, it's necessarily different. So it's necessarily not one. But yeah, the tree is different from one. Still, it is one. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, is it okay for everyone up to now?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Very good. Okay, so now, yeah. Okay, Kevin is very happy. Then, do we still have time? I hope so. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, a little bit. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure that you don't know the difference between the two, not one with permanent and impermanent. Oh, this one is very tricky. Not one with permanent and impermanent. So the negations are always tricky. So the answers would be, the answer from the defender would be like this, like Sheldon. I would reply like this personally. Okay. Not one with permanent and impermanent. Mhm. So always the same job. Do we find A and B, A not B, B not A, and not A not B? I think the common base is easier, eh?
I think 4P.
4P for Chaviji. Who else?
Or 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 sounds good.
3.5. 9 3/4.
Yes, that's perfect.
Oh, so at least, yeah, we find common base, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it could be equivalent, yeah, if we find common base, yeah? So maybe for Hiwon La, they're equivalent.
It's 3.25. I think more closer to
Yes. Yeah, let's try to check, yeah. Ah. So, okay, so at least for the common base, okay, so it follows that it's not true because you cannot posit something which is both. The reason is not established, so it follows you can posit something which is both. Accept. Posit.
A cup.
A cup. It follows that the subject cup is not one with permanent. Okay, we will try that. Yeah, cup. It follows that the subject cup is not one with permanent.
Accept.
Okay, it
Yeah.
is not one with permanent because
So it is impermanent.
yes. Yes, that's a very good reason. Yes. Very good reason, yeah. Yeah, I was expecting because it exists and it's not, and it is different. Yeah, because it is different from permanent. But yes, if it is impermanent, it's necessarily not one with permanent, yeah? Everybody agrees?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Okay, yes, very good. And we proved the other answer, yeah? It is not one with permanent and it is impermanent. Okay, so let's try this one. Different from permanent. Just to
Different from permanent is not one with permanent, and different from permanent,
is it impermanent?
permanent. Oh,
Mhm.
Will it work?
I think it would, yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Do you remember that like the organic rice and non-organic rice? Yeah, if a phenomenon has impermanent instances and permanent instances, it is the appearing object to thought consciousness, yeah? So it's permanent, yeah? So can we find like for instance pot, which is different from permanent? Yes. I guess it was Chaviji's answer. Yeah, pot is not one with permanent and it is impermanent, yeah? Okay, and do we find many phenomena which are also different from permanent, but still they are permanent? Yeah, you remember, in order to be a cup, you don't need to be one with cup, yeah? The red cup is a cup, but is not one with cup, it's different from cup, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah?
many instances of permanent, example, non-composite phenomena.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Non-composite phenomena is an instance, non-composite phenomenon is an instance of different from permanent, yeah? And it is permanent. Yeah, so if different from permanent has many pieces of organic rice and many pieces of non-organic rice, then it is permanent, yeah?
Then it is permanent.
So
Yes.
the subject different from permanent is permanent, yeah? So it would not be in the middle of the circles, yeah? It would be not one with permanent, but not impermanent, yeah? Yeah, okay, just to test, yeah. If we say, okay, two apples, yeah? Would it work?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the subject two apples, like the cup, yeah, like the cup chosen by Chaviji, yeah. They are impermanent, yeah, and they are not one with permanent. Yeah, so it would work, yeah, or even one apple or one cup, yeah, cup. Okay, we have it. Yes. Okay. So can we find something which is not one with permanent and not impermanent?
Non-existent.
Ah, yes. That would work. It is not one with permanent, and it is not impermanent. Yeah, I didn't put that. Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. Yes, non-existent would work. And if we choose one, Would it would it work as well?
One is not one with permanent.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is not one with permanent because
Only
because
permanent can be one. So
yes, only permanent is one with permanent, yeah. Yes. So
one is not
one,
permanent.
yeah, is one with permanent or not one with permanent?
one is not one with permanent,
Yes, exactly.
but
Yeah.
it can be impermanent.
Ah, the subject one has many permanent instances and many impermanent instances, yeah?
Hmm.
I think so, yes.
Yes. So the category one itself is non-organic rice. Yes. It's
Permanent.
permanent. Yes, exactly. But if it is one, it's not necessarily permanent. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, one is permanent, but if it is one, it's not necessarily permanent. Yeah, the subject one here is perfectly correct. Yeah, not one with permanent and not impermanent. Yeah, everybody agrees?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Apollina La, doubting.
I think I'll have to
Yeah,
revise this one more time.
yes.
Confused.
You remember, like, I don't know if we spoke, we should speak again about this rice. You have a bag of organic rice and a bag of non-organic rice. You put a handful of non-organic rice and you mix it with the organic rice. Could you still sell it as organic rice?
No.
No, it is contaminated by the non-organic rice. Yeah. Yeah. So as long as you have permanent phenomena, you can add as many impermanent phenomena as well. It's still the appearing object to thought consciousness. Yeah. So the set itself is permanent. Yeah. Like existent is permanent, one is permanent, different is permanent, definition is permanent, and so on. Yeah. Because you have many phenomena which are one, which are permanent, and many other phenomena which are one, they are impermanent. So in order to figure out the set itself, you need your thought consciousness. Yeah. So the set is the appearing object to your thought consciousness. So it is permanent. Yeah. One is permanent. But if it is one, it's not necessarily permanent. Yeah. Like we said before, I don't know if I remember well the name of animal in Hindi. Yeah? Januar in Hindi is neutral. But if it is a januar, it's not necessarily neutral. Yeah.
Mhm.
If it is, like we say in French, yeah, animal is masculine, yeah, in French. But if it is animal, it's not necessarily masculine. You can have feminine, like giraffe, turtle, and so on. So the category itself, yeah, like januar is neutral, but if it is a januar, it's not necessarily neutral. That's the same process. Yeah? Okay. Very good. So one is not, yes.
But between permanent and impermanent, permanent is the bigger category and impermanent is inside permanent.
So they are contradictory, yeah. They are contradictory. So one cannot go inside the other. But you know, if you have both sets, it means that permanent and impermanent, all the permanent phenomena and all the impermanent phenomena all together, they make the category existent.
Oh, existent. Okay.
Yes.
Permanent and impermanent can be existent, but permanent and impermanent are contradictory.
Yes.
Okay.
And if it exists, it has to be permanent or impermanent because both are dichotomy. They include all existent phenomena. Yeah?
Yeah.
So existent itself exists. So it has to go in one or the other categories. Yeah.
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 Got it.
So
Yeah.
it has to be either permanent or impermanent. And because it is the appearing object to thought consciousness, because you still need your thought consciousness in order to apprehend all permanent phenomena and impermanent altogether, then existent itself is the appearing object of thought consciousness. But if it is an existent, it's not necessarily the appearing object of thought consciousness. Yeah?
Mm.
Yes.
So one is permanent, but if it is one, it's not necessarily permanent. Like cup is one, but still it is impermanent. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And compounded space is one, it is permanent. Yeah. So because many instances of one are impermanent and many others are permanent, the category one itself is permanent. Yeah.
Okay.
But if it is one, it's not necessarily permanent. Yeah.
I thought selfless of thought. I thought it's not one with permanent.
Exactly. Yes, it is not one with permanent because.
It is only permanent can be one with permanent.
Yes, exactly. Only permanent is one with permanent.
And it is not impermanent.
Yes, it is not because.
It is not impermanent because it does not change moment to moment.
Yes, if it doesn't change moment by moment, it's necessarily not impermanent.
Except.
Yes, very good. We could say because what? Because it's a mere negation. It's a non-affirming negation. Because it's the appearing object of thought consciousness and so on and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. So one with permanent, is it one with permanent or not one with permanent?
It is one with permanent.
Ah, so it follows that permanent is not one with permanent.
The subject permanent is not one with permanent.
Exactly. And one with permanent is not one with permanent as well. It is one with permanent. Yeah.
Except.
They're the same tricky thing that we had before. Yeah, very good. Okay. And it is not impermanent as well. Yeah, so it works as well. Okay, and now do we have something which is impermanent, which is not one with permanent? So double negation, yeah, which is not one with permanent. So impermanent, which is one with permanent.
No, it cannot exist because only permanent can be one with permanent. And
Yeah,
permanent is not impermanent, it is contradictory. So you cannot have anything.
exactly. And as Chaviji said before, if it is impermanent, it's necessarily not one with permanent. Yeah, for the cup, yeah? Yes, very good. Okay, so yes, if it is impermanent, it's necessarily different from permanent. Yeah, so it cannot be one with permanent. So it is not one with permanent.
Mhm.
Yeah, not one with permanent means one with permanent. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes, okay. Yes. Very good. Yeah, sometimes the double negations, yeah, they make my brain upside down. Okay. So
Yeah.
I
So
need to-
not one with permanent has to be one with permanent, which is permanent.
yeah, if it is not one with permanent, it's necessarily one with permanent, yeah?
Yes.
And impermanent cannot be one with permanent. It's necessarily different from permanent, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So it follows that you can posit an illustration of something which is not one with permanent and not impermanent. Something which is neither A and B. It is not one with permanent, so it is one with permanent.
Mhm.
And it is not
The
impermanent.
pink elephant. The pink elephant.
It follows that the subject pink elephant is not one with permanent.
Yes, because it's not even existent. To be
Mm,
permanent, it has to exist.
yes. So it follows that the subject, this red cup, is not a non-cup. yeah, is not a non-cup. Because if it yeah, we could say either it is a non-cup or it is not a non-cup. And this cup obviously is not a non-cup, yeah? Because it is a cup. Yeah. Double negation means affirmation, yeah? Yeah.
Mhm.
So here that would be the same, yeah. If we say, okay, the pink elephant is not one with permanent, yeah. So you suppress the two nots
Mhm.
and you have the affirmation, yeah.
Mhm.
It follows that the subject pink elephant is one with permanent.
To be permanent, it has to exist. So that base
Exactly.
criteria is missing. So it's
it
not
cannot be-
permanent at all.
It's
Cannot
not
be one
permanent.
with permanent.
Exactly. It cannot be one with permanent. So that's why it is not one with permanent. It's not
Right.
one with permanent, yeah?
Yes.
So yeah, we could put the pink elephant in the red circle, which excludes the blue one.
Mm.
Yeah, as we said before, the blue unicorn is not one with permanent because it doesn't exist, and it's not impermanent.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist again.
Exactly.
Mm.
So that's why the pink elephant or the blue unicorn, they cannot be not one with permanent, because not one, you suppress the not, the double negation, you have an affirmation, yeah? Yeah, they cannot be one with permanent, yeah? Yeah, so they cannot be not one with
Yes.
permanent. Sorry,
Yes.
today is very
Not,
tricky, yeah,
not one
sorry.
with
We need a
permanent.
1 hour meditation after that class. Sorry,
Not
sorry.
one with meditation. What?
Mm.
So what could we find which is not one with permanent? So if you suppress the two negations, it's easier, yeah? Yeah,
Oh.
this cup is a non-cup.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if it is a non-cup, it's necessarily a cup. And if it is a cup,
Yes.
it's necessarily a non-cup, yeah? So if it
Yep.
is not one with permanent, what does it have to be?
One with permanent.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. So what could we find which is not one with permanent and not impermanent?
Permanent.
Yes. Very good. Permanent. Wow, fantastic. 3P. Wow, incredible. I'm really, really, really happy. So grateful. Yeah, so sometimes we think that those debates are just to make us crazy. But you know, like when we want to sharpen our tools in order to build a beautiful wooden statue, when we are sharpening the tools, it's not really interesting, yeah. So those debates sometimes are just to sharpen our tools in order to apply that to the more crunchy things like the Madhyamaka and so on, yeah? Yes, Pallavi.
I have a question. You know, I said selfless of part, A, not B.
Yes, here, yeah.
And
Okay,
I said it is not impermanent,
exactly.
but then it is permanent.
Yeah, exactly. Accept.
Then why is it not? Oh, not one with permanent.
Yeah, the
No.
selfless. We could say even the selfless of permanent, yeah? Is it one with permanent?
No,
It is not because?
only, wait, selfless of permanent is not one with permanent, because only permanent can be one with permanent.
Exactly. So that's why selfless of permanent is one with selfless of permanent.
Yes, okay.
Very
Okay.
good. Very good. Wow, so nice. So if you have time for next time, you can check maybe this one different from permanent and one with impermanent for next time. Yeah, homework. And if you want, you can of course select any kind of debate just to recap things. And if you want to be the challenger for next time, I will send you the slides as well, yeah. And yeah, that would be nice. Otherwise, I'm always the challenger, and then you miss some flavor of the debate if you are not the challenger sometimes, yeah. So just to encourage you sometimes to give counter examples and to try to make us nuts as well. Then that would be nice. And thank you so much. It was a great pleasure again. And see you, I think, in 2 weeks, yeah? Yeah, but we will
We don't
confirm.
have class next week?
I guess so, yeah, because we have some extra specific things to do, yeah? So
Okay.
if you don't have the information, I guess Chaviji or Nicola will inform you, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
And for the sake of all the beings, as usually, yeah? Thank you so much. Take care, yeah?
Thank you, Christophe.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.